On the center of the world to the ends of the earth, two Indian women unite across continents. Welcome to Global Voices, a fresh, bold space where abundance meets purpose, where family and legacy fuel our vision, and where online business becomes the bridge to freedom. Together, we celebrate culture, empower communities, and spark transformation from the Americas to the Kiwis. This is more than a show, it's a movement. This is Global Voices.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Global Voices. Today's topic is, you ready, Farah? My name is Patricia Peters, and my co-host is...
Good morning.
Today's topic is, your bills don't go on vacation. Why every immigrant needs a side hustle. That's our topic for today. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Global Voices. Tonight's topic is powerful, emotional, and very real. Your bills don't go on vacation. Why every immigrant needs a side hustle. This conversation is for every immigrant who left their homeland and searching for opportunity, only to realize that life abroad is not easy. We came with dreams, we came with hope, we came willing to work hard. But today, many immigrants are exhausted, working 1, 2, sometimes 3 jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to survive inflation, rent increases, layoffs, and uncertainty. And the truth is, bills don't care if you're tired. Bills don't care if you're overwhelmed. Bills don't care. Bills don't wait. And they definitely don't go on vacation. Tonight, we want to encourage people not to panic, but to prepare. Not to feel hopeless, but empowered. Because in this digital age, people can learn new skills, create additional income, and build something for themselves from anywhere in the world. And that is what tonight is all about. Farah, welcome tonight.
Thank you, Patricia, and everyone. Hello, everyone from New Zealand. It is evening for us, and good morning to everyone on the other side of the world. Yes, today our topic is so important because I'm an immigrant myself, and immigrants everywhere share similar struggles. You know, either you're from Fiji, Guyana, India, Jamaica, Philippines, Africa, Europe, or anywhere else out there, many immigrants leave home believing that once they arrive overseas, life automatically becomes easy. But the reality is different, very different. Many people are silently struggling with expensive bills, long working hours, loneliness, family responsibilities, stress over, fear of loss of jobs, and many people are realizing that one paycheck is no longer enough. That is why learning additional skills and creating extra income streams is so important and is becoming necessary, and it's not an option. Absolutely not optional.
Amazing, Farah. That is so true. I want tonight to really think about this. Immigrants are some of the hardest working people in the world, and you can testify to that. We leave behind family, culture, comfort, familiarity. We come to new countries and start over from zero. New accents, new jobs, new system, new struggles. And everyone watching can testify to that. Some immigrants work for years, cleaning buildings, driving taxis, working in factories, taking care of other people's children, Hey, I used to do that. Working long hospital shifts, doing whatever was necessary to survive. And many of us sacrifice our own dreams just to give our children opportunities. But now the world is changing. Technology is changing jobs. Technology is changing jobs and changing artificial intelligence is changing industries. Layoffs are happening everywhere. And many people are asking, what happens if my job disappears? What happens if I get sick? What happens if inflation keeps rising? This is why immigrants must stop depending on stream of income.
Absolutely, 100%, Patricia. And something else that immigrants struggle with is fear. And that's a very, very big one for everyone. Fear of, trying something new. I used to be one of those. Technology, I still am one of those. Social media, I'm still one of those. Online business and failing publicly, I used to be that. And also, one of the biggest things I've found is what people fear is what people may say. And I think that's a very ethnic minded thing. But let's be honest, the same courage it took for us to leave your country, my country, that same courage can help you build something new. Many immigrants already know how to hustle. We all do. We already know the sacrifices and we already know what resilience is. Now it's about learning modern skills. And the beautiful thing today is that technology allows ordinary people to learn extraordinary things from their phones.
And that is so true, Farah. That is absolutely true. Everything you mentioned there just now. As immigrants, we all go through all of those. I want to share something personal tonight. I work in banking. I work in corporate America. I trained people for years. And like many people, I thought if I work hard and stay loyal, I'll always be secure. But life humbled me. Layoffs happen. Unexpected bills happen. Life changes. And I realized something. Hard work alone is no longer enough. That's when I started learning social media, digital marketing, AI tools, online skills. Was I scared? Absolutely. Did I know everything? No. Did I struggle? Oh, yes. I cried over Canva. I struggled with technology. I felt overwhelmed, but I kept learning. And now I realize the greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself. Not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, skillfully, because nobody can take knowledge away from you. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
So, Farah, let me ask you this.
Hmm.
What do you think is the biggest struggle immigrants face today?
Well, Patricia, I as an immigrant myself, I believe one of the biggest struggles um, that
And Farah is
okay, can
frozen.
you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, yeah. So as I was saying there, as an immigrant, my schools, the immigrants face today is actually starting over while carrying
Mhm.
the responsibilities of, building a better future for our families. And many immigrants, leave their families behind, friends, career, and everything familiar to us to create new opportunities. We often face challenges such as, like you said, adjusting to new cultures, accent, language barriers, limited networks, and sometimes having to accept jobs below our qualifications. And I know many people that have to go back and study all over again just so that they can meet the actual country's criteria. And at the
Mhm.
same time, there's often pressure to succeed because they want to make the sacrifices worthwhile. That's why it's so important for us immigrants to continue growing, learning new skills, and keeping an open mind to opportunities that can help us create the life that we dreamed or we envision, for our future and our families. That's what I believe.
And I believe that too, Farah. It is
Mm.
so. Guys, if you're watching, what do you think is the biggest struggle immigrants face today? Put it in the chat box, or put it in the chat box here. Yes. So you got that right, Farah. Those are the things immigrants struggle with. So my next question to you is, why do you think so many people are afraid to start something online?
I love this question. That used to be me.
Hmm.
I think fear is the biggest reason.
Yeah.
People worry about what others will think,
Hmm.
whether they will fail, whether they're good enough, or whether they
Hmm.
have the right skills. And these are all the things that I questioned and I was worried about as well. But many people also compare their beginnings to someone else's success story. They see someone else who has been building for many, many years, and they think you could overcome that just like that. The reality is that every successful person, started as a beginner. They had to start somewhere, and nobody starts with all the answers.
Right.
Confidence doesn't come before action. So,
Hmm.
it comes from taking action
Action. Yep.
constantly and learning along the way. And yeah, so I think that's what's holding people back in terms of being afraid.
And you nailed that right on the head there. That is so true. And I always tell people, anything you do in life, you if you're not fearful or scared, then you're not human. You have to
Yeah,
have those emotions and those feelings, especially when you're starting something new, right? So
that's right.
fear is one of them, and fear is just a word until we captivate that fear and add action to it. Fear is just a word
Mm.
until we apply it in our lives, then it become action, and then we become fearful. So
Mm.
everyone is fearful, and it's okay. Everyone is skeptical, it's okay. So my next question to you is, do you think one income is enough anymore?
Oh, absolutely not. I I'll give touch to this one. Personal story. My husband and I, we were two incomes. We have a mortgage. We have a family. Everything's fine. Everything's nice until we lost one income in our household. And from experience, I can tell you this: it's definitely not okay. It's not enough to live a comfortable life. And when I say comfortable, I mean for our comfortable is, having the food we want on our table, having a weekend away, or even something
Mhm.
similar as buying a takeaway, or even groceries. My God, buying meat nowadays is so
So
expensive. You
expensive,
have to
yeah.
rethink when purchasing, and this whole oil and petrol all around the world.
Yes.
It's just out the gate. So for me to be able to, because I know we both have vehicles, we both know we have to get from A to B. You can't
Hmm.
always be thinking about prices of the petrol because we I still have to get from one place to another. My son
That's
still
a
has to get from one
necessity.
place
That
to
is a
another.
necessity. Yep. Hmm.
So for me, getting- yeah, like, and I personally, I know there's so much issues out there right now in terms of petrol, but I can tell you this: I stopped looking at petrol prices because no matter how expensive it gets, I will still have
You still have to
to
need,
fill up my
yes.
car. I will still have to buy food. So for me, one income is not enough. That's
One
right. I mean,
income
life
is,
doesn't stop. So that's when, one income is not enough. And that's how I came into this online business because I needed to find another way. to, get from A to B, still be able to eat the food that I love. And I'm not saying go out into sit in restaurants every week, but
Yeah.
even be able to, necessities, just be able to afford those. So yes, absolutely, you need 110%. You can't do without two income in a household. And even I know people, two incomes in a household is still a struggle.
It's still hard. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, can't do with one.
Well, I can testify that me and my husband, we both were working. We had two incomes coming in, and we barely had money at the end of the month. I just went to fill my tank the other day, and I normally pay $45 to $48. It was $61 this time to fill up my tank. So, absolutely, one income is not enough. And if you do have one income, then you're living a very, very mediocre life, you know? And that is very sad. And Farah, you did answer that absolutely correct. So my next question is to you is, what advice would you give immigrants who feel stuck?
Well, my advice would be to never, stop believing that your current situation is permanent, because your current situation is temporary. Being stuck doesn't mean you're staying there forever. Sometimes, you need to learn new skills, build new relationship, maybe even seek mentorship, or just someone that has done it. And when I say someone that's done it, not even looking into personal life, go find another immigrant. Find, one that has been successful and have been there, done that. Because I believe that if people have already been through struggles, learn from them, because they'll tell you what not to do, or they'll tell you the
What
right
to
ways
do.
to do things. Yeah. So start small, focus on what you can control today, invest in your personal growth. And, a lot of the times, as soon as we say invest, people start saying you have to spend money.
Yeah.
Even in our country, and I know all countries out there, sometimes they do have free lessons in the community centers and whatnot. So start wherever you need to start to just build yourself, that personal growth, continue learning, surround yourself with positive people who actually encourage you to grow, and not just, sit there and complain all day long that things is not changing. And most importantly, do not underestimate the value of your journey. The resilience us immigrants have is very, very rare. We can adapt to anything just like that. And the courage that brought you this far into a foreign country, in a new place, new land, around new people, that's your strength, and that can help you move forward and conquer any barriers you come across. And I think people really need to remember that if you leave your home to go somewhere else, that's the biggest the skill, the strength we all have and carry forever.
Yes, that is so true, Farah. That is so true. As an immigrant, leaving Guyana, coming to America, and feeling stuck is very sad, because I can't leave one country and come to another to live in a survival mode, right? I have to do better. So those of you who are watching me right now, if you're feeling stuck in a situation where you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you don't have money to pay your bills, or you have issues and situations that make you feel stagnant and you're not growing, you need to get out of that mindset. You need to transform your mindset. Associate yourself with like-minded people, people who are rich. We have rich friends, right? And there's help out there. We're offering help to you. We're offering a side hustle to you. So there are options. You don't have to feel stuck. You may be going through a phase right now, but then you can get out of that phase as well. And nothing bad lasts forever. All right. So Farah, you're doing great with your questions. Your final question is, why is learning new skills important today? And this pretty much ties into that question also.
Well, as we all, yeah, and as we all know, the world is just changing so fast, faster than ever it ever has before, in terms of technology, industries, and even the way we continue to evolve. I mean, look, there's AI out there now, machines cooking food for you. The people who continue learning are often the people that continue growing. And learning skills, new skills, increases confidence. And I absolutely believe this, that it increases your confidence, creates opportunities, and improves, your it, like being able to adapt to anything, and allows you to remain relevant in the changing world. And
Mhm.
for simple, when people say, oh, I can't change, well, if we can go and buy new phones every time an Apple new phone, that's quite a big thing everywhere. Every time there's a new Apple phone, everyone wants to buy it. That has new features, new apps. If people can learn that, you can change with everything else. And whether it's leadership, communication, digital skills, even business skills or personal development, every
Mhm.
new skill counts. Every new skill you learn becomes an investment to yourself. And lastly, the greatest asset you can build is not just your income, it's your ability to grow, adapt, and create value no matter where you go. It's that value that your
Learn a
footprint.
skill, learn a
Yeah.
trade, learn a skill, and that is very important. Many of us go to college, we have degrees, but we're book smart, but we're not street smart. We don't have a
Mm,
skill. And in today's
mm,
environment, today's world, we need to learn a skill. And that is why I tell people,
mm,
I'm here to teach you to learn how to earn digitally online, right? That's what we do as business owners. We teach people
mm.
how to, a digital skill, how to earn online. And it's so simple. All you have to do is have a willing mindset and be coachable. Farah, you did amazing, and you were in the hot seat, and you did 100 over 100, girl. Now it's my turn to be on the hot seat. Take it over.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to ask some questions now, Pat, as well. So share with everyone what motivated you to start this online.
All right. What motivated me to start this online business? Guys,
Mhm.
I wasn't motivated at all. My life was set. I was working. My husband was working. We were well off. Dish that money out. Like any good parent, I dish that money out, right? And there was this thought in my head after I give my daughter that $5,000 to take care of her car engine. It left me a little uneasy. I feel like something isn't right. They're your kids. You do anything for them. But a thought came to my head and said, what if I'm not here any longer? What if I'm dead and gone? Who is going to be there to help my children? My parents are in their 80s. My dad passed away recently. Mom can't help anybody. I have four brothers who have their wives and their own lives with their family. And I don't know what happens when I'm dead. Who's going to help the children? Right? So I felt uneasy. I felt discombobulated. And it doesn't sit well with me. And that same day that happened, I was scrolling on social media, liking people's stuff, commenting, you know, watching stuff, giggling and whatever stuff. But behind all of it, there was this thought that's keep lingering. And I saw an ad on Facebook, and the woman was, I tapped on the ad and I was listening to this lady. She was talking, and everything she was saying, it speaks to me. It speaks to me that, okay, you should do something other than what you're doing. And in order for me to secure my children's future financially, whatever this woman was saying, resonates with me. I tap on the ad. She tells her story. Her story is similar to my story. And that's how I became motivated to start this business, because her story was, this is an online business that is going to leave a legacy for your children, even if you're dead and gone. And I was like, wow, this is me. This is what I want. That even if I'm no longer here, they will still have a surplus of flow every month coming in. And that is why I started this online business. That's what motivated me, Farah.
Nice, nice. Um, I think a lot of us that do end up taking these steps when it hits home, when it hits family, we tend to do things a little bit differently. But when it's just for ourselves, I think we take our time. But the minute it affects our children, something about that really motivates everyone. So thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
And yeah, even I have a story, but that's for another day. But again, we all have something that does
We all
when
have a story. Yep.
it really hits you, especially when it comes to your kids. All right, so
Mhm.
that leads me into what was your biggest fear when you started?
And this one here, you all can resonate with this. My biggest fear in starting this business was, what will people say? That was my biggest fear, because in today's world, we're living to please society. We are pleasing people, and we are afraid to venture into new things, to address situations, to take on challenges, to do something different, to step out of our comfort zone, because we are always afraid of what will people say. Those four words are killers, right? What will people say? I was afraid because I go to church, I'm a church woman, I have a job. What am I doing with business online, especially at my age, 55, right? So I was fearful of what will people say. But guys, we need to get away from that mindset. We don't have to listen to what people say, because if you listen to what people say in this day and age, you will be fetching water in baskets rather than buckets. And if I was to stay stuck and listen to people, I would have not been doing what I'm doing today. So that was my biggest fear. What will people say?
That's I think almost every ethnic out there can relate to them, and it's still
Mhm.
happening. I still meet people that say, what will people say? That is
Mhm.
such like 110%. And a lot of the times that what people would say is within your own home and your own family and friends, your own
Ah,
circle.
there you go.
Not
You had
necessarily,
that.
you know, what I think we've also mentioned this previously, that if when people don't pay your bills, if you're struggling tomorrow to pay your bills, if someone has lost jobs, none of those people around you will come to pay your bills. And I mean, yes, that fear is valid, but I think we also need to see past that fear, that if you don't have food on the table, are those
Mhm.
people going to feed you? So thank you for sharing. And yes, I feel that that's still a biggest fear that's still existing amongst everyone out there.
Yeah.
All right, so
Especially, yeah, and you said it in our ethnic group or ethnic community, especially Indian people. Oh,
yeah,
they're like, they will discriminate you to the extent.
yeah,
They will compliment you for buying a house, 500,000, 600,000, or maybe $1 million. They'll clap for you to put yourself in debt. You buy a car, they will clap for you because you have $50,000 car. They will clap for you. But when you tell them you invest $149 to buy a business, they're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure that thing is real? Is it not a scam? Try and get your money back."
mm,
They'll tell you all these stuff. Yeah.
mm. Well, look, you know, if you invite people over, then there's a problem. If you have a party or something, gathering at home, you invite them over, there's an issue. You don't invite them, there's an issue. You
There's
cook
still an
food, there's
issue,
an
right?
issue. And even if you feed them, there's still an issue. So, like, you can never please
Never
or make
please
people
people. Yeah.
happy. So,
Yeah.
regardless, I think people will always find something to talk. Always will find something to talk. But no, thank you for sharing. And I know it's still very much existing right now amongst others out there in terms of fear.
Hmm.
So, Patricia, what advice would you give our beginners today? Either
So,
as someone sitting on the fence or someone that's starting all the
right.
way
I
from.
know you were a beginner. I was a beginner in this business. And what advice would I give to the new people who are starting in my business now? So if you guys are watching, my advice to you is don't listen to the noise outside, because the noise outside will distract you, will discourage you, and will leave you empty for dead. I'm telling you. I don't listen to the naysayers, because as you mentioned, your family members will discourage you. I started this business without telling anybody, even my husband did not know, because I know that they're going to discourage me. I know that they're going to tell me, oh, it's a scam, this, that, and everything else, but it'll never encourage you. Now they do. After I start showing my checks and stuff, they believe, right? So for beginners, stay in your lane, stay focused, do your training. Don't look at, in our team, you will see all the money people are making. Don't get distracted. They had their journey and they planted their seed. They were farmers and now they're harvesting. Don't watch the money they're making and get carried away, because you're now starting your journey. I want you to do your training, stay in your lane, stay focused, don't get discouraged, and don't give up. Keep going, because you will get to that journey as well. You will get to that result as well. So to all of you who are watching me right now and who are starting this business, as Guyanese say, rain doesn't fall on one man's door, and every dog has its day. So your turn is coming where you too will be exalted in this business. So don't give up even before you start. Don't quit before it clicks.
That's an awesome advice. Thank you, Patricia. And like you said, it's like sometimes, you know, when people say, I'm not ready yet, you got to start before you feel ready. Because being ready, you know, knowing when you're ready never starts. And for many people, like you said, they spend months and years waiting for the perfect time and the perfect plan or the perfect level of confidence. But, you know, there's no perfect time. And it's taken them a while, months and years to get to where they are. So everyone's journey is different. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be coachable, and you have to keep showing up. Stay consistent. Focus on your progress, not perfection or other people's progress. Other people's progress should actually be a motivation for you. If they can do it, I can do that too. But not like, why am I not doing this today if they are? Well, you don't know the background work they've done to get where they are today. You know, and I find it funny when people just start and within 2-3 months they start, you know, getting demotivated. It's like, well, hang on, some of us have been doing this for months and years to get where we at. So remembering that small actions repeated, you know, consistently over time can definitely create extraordinary results. So keep at it, like Patricia said. And why should people stop waiting, Patricia? Why do you think people stop?
I think you give me all the hard questions. So why should people stop waiting? You know, waiting is not a good thing. I hate waiting, especially if I get dressed to go somewhere. I hate waiting for people. I like to beat the iron while it's hot and go, go, go. So people who are procrastinating, sitting on the fence, and they're waiting for tomorrow, next week, next year. Oh, I'm waiting until my kids get older. Okay, I'm waiting until I have money. Okay, I'm waiting on this and that, and all kinds of excuses. Trust me, you'll never start if you keep waiting, because there is never a perfect time for anything. You just have to do it impromptu, unexpectedly. Say, okay, tap on this button. And then you realize that, okay, I'm doing something finally for me. Finally, I'm doing something for me. Because waiting will not give you financial growth. Waiting will not pay your bills. Waiting will not take your kids on vacation. Waiting will not take you traveling around the world. Waiting will not build your bank account. Waiting will not make you have personal growth, transformation of your mindset. Waiting will not take you places. Waiting will not develop you personally, and waiting will not motivate you. So, my advice to people who are waiting, stop waiting and start taking action, because every action has results. No action, no results. So if you want to change your life, you need to stop sitting on the fence watching other people getting rich and come into the circle. Let's have a conversation. Ask me any questions about this business, and I will guide you towards your destination, your journey, your road to your own prosperity. So stop waiting.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I love that. And look, when Patricia says she's not the one to wait, I know that firsthand. She will show up without even telling you she showed up to go somewhere, and she'll say, "Let's go." So yes, time. Look, I think people need to realize time doesn't wait for anyone. Time will pass anyway.
Yeah.
So I'd say, a year from now, you can either be in the same place wondering what if, or you
Mm-hmm.
can, be grateful that you started. But waiting, I do know sometimes for people, waiting often feels safe, but waiting can also be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you could start, let's say, if you want to do an investment today, but then you're like, no, I'll wait for it to, the prices to go down, or it's too expensive. 5 years later, their prices will not wait for you. Even buying a home, everything increases within each year, even sometimes by 6 monthly, things change. So
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, growth, experiences, and lessons, they all come from action, like you said, Patricia. So things
Mm-hmm.
don't wait for you. So and you don't have to have it figured out. You just make, ask questions, ask the right people in front of you. There's Patricia, there's myself. You just have to take that first step and just ask the question. That won't cost you anything, asking us questions. Just, bombard Patricia's messenger asking her questions, and you'll get answers back from her, both of us. So yeah, but no, thank
Yeah.
you. Now,
Mm-hmm.
lastly, I know you said I've given you've got all the hard questions, but they've all been important questions. People that I know
Mm-hmm.
sometimes want to know. Now, what has this journey taught you about yourself? And I love this question.
I love this question too, because sometimes you think you know yourself, you know who you are. At age 53, I started this business. I'm 55 now. And I thought I got it all figured out. I know who I am. When I got into this business, I was like, hell no, I have no clue who I was. So, having been in this journey for 2 years, it has taught me so many lessons. It has taught me to have patience, to be resilient, to have determination, to be motivated, to be disciplined. It taught me to have a mindset of a farmer. I thought I was smart and intelligent and I figured life all out. But lo and behold, that was not true. I found myself in this business. I found who I really was as a human being. I found that I am talented. I found that I'm stubborn. Like I can, if you come from Guyana or any foreign land and you're an immigrant in a foreign country, you have that grit, that resilience, that stubbornness to work hard no matter what, right? I found I can do things that I've never done before. I found that I can talk to you right now that I've never done a go live before. I never could talk to people like this before. I found that I build my confidence in this business. I found that I can do so many things. I've hosted over 250 interviews. I've done live programs with 3,000-4,000 people watching. I've traveled, I've traveled to different destinations, even though I'm claustrophobic. I've learned so much. I've gained so much. I've done so much, and I still have more to offer. I never knew what a legacy was until I started this business. I never used the word legacy until I started this business. Back home, you said, "Oh, your parents passed away and they leave you properties and money and jewelry and this and that." In this day and age, we leave our children and our family a legacy, right? We leave an imprint, we leave an impact in the world. So, being in this journey has taught me to be kind, be nice, be teachable, be coachable, and help others along the way to do the same. Because someone helped me to get here, and I'm helping others around the world to get to a position where they can help others as well, where they can teach people as well, and where they can financially help themselves and help others around the world. So this journey has been a rough and bumpy one, but through it all, I've learned, I've gained, I've witnessed, I've seen the progress, the rewards, the results of this business. And you too can do the same. Because me, a 55-year-old woman who has no experience in technology, I didn't even know how to move a mouse when I started working at the bank. I never talked to people like this before. I've never done a go live since I have Facebook since 2009. I never touched that go live button because my heart would race in my chest. Every time I wanted to touch it, I was always curious what's on the other side. And today, I touch that button, go live whenever, however, whenever I want. So you grow, you learn, you develop personally. And this business has done well for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I feel that this business, for a lot of us people that have business partners that have been doing this business, we would all talk about resilience and patience and discipline, like more patience, and the importance of personal growth. And this is something I say a lot of the times, that we come into this business with the mindset that you want to earn a lot more. But when you come into this business, what you don't realize is that the financial reason that you once started becomes a bonus, because everything else that comes along the way in this journey is so much more important, especially when it comes to you and, you know, everything else about you that you didn't know, or you thought you were strong until you start this business. And you know, like, we're still learning. We, you know, both Patricia and I didn't know what Canva was, and my gosh, we're still learning. We didn't know what StreamYard was, and I can still remember having to figure out and accidentally starting, you know, your go live, and you're like, oh, I didn't even want to do a go live, but you have to because you pressed on that button. So we're still learning though, with everything changing. So this journey, I think, for a lot of us that have started, will share different stories. But one of the most common thing we all will say is, you find a different view about yourself. You find a different strength about who you are, and you find how intelligent you are compared to, you know, even 6 months ago. I could notice difference within myself within the 6 months. So most importantly, guys, everyone to remember is that, you know, learning success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. And that's what happens to all of us, what we've become in our journey along our process, and what we've, you know, other side of everything. Yes, we all start with the same mindset that we need to earn something extra, but you have to start yourself to see and witness and figure out what we're trying to say. But it's beautiful what you see on the other side.
Thank you
so that's
for
your
those
questions
questions
for tonight, Patricia.
Thank you so much for those questions. And tonight is not about pressuring anyone, guys, or this morning, Monday morning here in New York. It's about awakening people. Maybe you fell asleep, so we're just giving you a little poke. Too many immigrants are surviving but not truly living. Too many people are overworked, underpaid, and overwhelmed. And tonight or this morning, we want people to understand you are not too old, you are not too late, you are not disqualified. If you can learn Facebook, you can learn business. If you can use a smartphone, you can learn modern skills. Small steps create big transformations. Farah?
Absolutely. And, you know, everyone really, really needs to remember this, that our accent is not our weakness. Your age is not your limitation. Your background is not a barrier. Your story is your power, and really hold on to that. The world is changing so quickly, and people are more willing to learn, or people who are willing to learn, adapt, and grow will create opportunities for themselves, their families, and like what Patricia was saying, that it's all about legacy.
That's true. So, if tonight's message or this morning's message touched you, don't ignore that feeling.
Don't wait until, you know, life forces you to change, which is what we normally do. We wait for the worst to happen before we can make changes. So don't wait for that.
You know, like me, when I was a kid, I said sometimes I'm lazy to pray. I said, okay, when I get sick, then I'll pray. And when I do get sick, I get so sick that I can't even pray. So don't let do that. So with me and Farah both gonna say this to you together.
Let's try this, okay? Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Start
Start
learning. Start growing. Start preparing. Because
your
bills won't wait.
Won't wait.
And neither should your future.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys for staying with us. Thanks for tuning in. For those who are watching the replay, for those in New Zealand, thank you for watching. Farah, thank you for hosting with me tonight in New Zealand and this morning in New York. We really appreciate you. If you have questions, reach out to us. If you want to join the business, reach out to myself and Farah. You saw on our screen our website, and just tap on our link. Watch the 20-minute webinar, and that can change your life. You know why? It changes Farah's, and it changes mine. Farah, any last word?
Just to people, you know, that constantly sit there, wonder if this is scam, if this is AI. One thing, if you have watched our videos, we really try to be in sync and every now and then say things together. But you can tell, if we were AI, we would nail it just like that. But we're not.
That's true.
We try and, you know, write something little so we both can say it together, but it never happens. And it just goes to show that we ordinary people, that we can never get our thinking right. Yeah, so if you think it's a scam, do what you need to do. But if we were scammers, you know, we really would be perfect, which we're not.
I would be losing my sleep to scam you, honestly. Trust me.
And we were reasonably late today because we had technical issues. And again, you know, AI scammers, they have ways, they're never late, you know, if they're operating with machines. We're not. And I feel that it's very important that we do put it out there, because a lot of the stuff is getting replaced by AI today.
You know, I was asked that question, one guy, because every time he messaged me, I answer back right away, and he's like, are you AI? So I had to laugh, and then I did a voice message. I sent a voice message to him, and he was like, thank you for clarifying that. He feel at ease now.
Yeah. But, you know, guys, like we said, immigrants, we will always have fear. You know, we only humans. Even when you grow, even when you become successful, you will still have fear along the way. And that's only human. So don't be afraid. It's as you grow, as you become successful, your fear changes along the way. And who knows, you might start earning so much money that you'd be fearful that your husband or your wife might spend way too much, So fear is always there. Do not
Yeah.
be, don't fear the fear. Don't be so fearful. Just take
My
action today.
my thing is, if people, when they start this business and they start making money, I am fearful that they might be fearful of all the money they're making.
That's right. That's right. But no, that's it from us today. Thank you everyone for watching. It is 9 p.m., 9:07 p.m. here in New Zealand.
Oh my God, tonight's
And-
program take an hour.
Thank you, beautiful souls, for joining us tonight on Global Voices. Your presence means the world to us. Two women, bridging continents, cultures, and communities with one shared vision: abundance